Today we'll be looking over the other different methods of diagrammatic representation of data. Yeah.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Hey, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so today we'll discuss what are the methods of diagrammatic representation of frequency or of data. Okay, इससे पहले we went over what is what do you call bar charts and what are pie diagrams, but I'll go in a little more detail and give you a few examples of how they work today. So first of all, coming to the most simple one, we have a line diagram. So line diagrams are basically they are displays of information in a series. Okay, you see different data points named as markers which are connected in a straight line as a segment. So for example, your line diagram will have something like this. Yeah, this is a line diagram. Okay, so if you can see, they are measuring the number of dolphins that are present, wildlife population of bears, dolphins. So you have three different line diagrams here measuring the population of bears, dolphins and whales across different years. So from 2017 they are giving some projected scores as well, wherein they are going giving a projected score for 2022 based on the current rate of reproduction and whatever, or rate of preservation, how many dolphins and how many bears and how many whales will be. So from this you can clearly know if the number is increasing or decreasing. See the small dotted points that you see at different places or in different years, that represents markers. Okay, you connect those markers to make a line diagram. All right, so that is one way through which you can represent data. So basically what they are doing is taking a graph and they are making different points. So for example, let's suppose 2019 corresponded with the number 150, 2020 corresponded with the number 166, okay, 2021 corresponded with 170, and 2018 corresponded with the number 140. This basically represents an upward trend, in the sense that let's suppose we are putting 2018, 19, 20 and 21 like this. Second, people are trying to come in. Yeah, we put it like this and we have different numbers on the right. Let's suppose we have start off with 140, then 150, 160, 170. Okay, so we know that 2018 में 140 थी population, put a dot here, this will act as one marker. 2019 में it was 150, another marker. 2020 में 166, so this will be somewhere around here, right? यहाँ पर एक marker. Then 2021 में यहाँ पर 170. So you can see that through connecting these lines you'll be able to get a line graph, and you can also tell how much growth has occurred. So consistently between 2018 to 19 there were 10 units of growth. Between 19 and 20 there were 16 units of growth. Okay, depending on this height. Okay, between 20 to 21 you can say that the growth has decreased, or the rate of growth has decreased. Initially there was 10 units here and 16 units here. Technically speaking this should have been more than 16, but because of some reason, let's suppose यहाँ पर खाली 4 units of growth हुआ, which is technically not as good as the previous years. So you can what you call deduce all of that information from a line graph. All right, I hope you understood how a line graph works. Now do you want me to repeat this or should I move on? Cool. So coming to the next one. Oh dear. अच्छा रहने दो, कोई बात नहीं. Next one being bar graphs. Okay, bar graphs may be multiple types रहते हैं. You'll understand in a bit. Now, whenever you want to compare different values, especially places, yeah, years, yeah, number of forms, you can use a bar diagram in that. For example, let's suppose we are discussing growth over some years. ठीक है? The same way अभी recent example अभी जो लिए थे आप last. Let's suppose I'm putting the same numbers here. 140, 150, 160, 170. 2018, 2019, 20, and 21. So the diagram, you will take one unit on your x-axis as a single vertical, as the width of a single bar. Now you can flip these as well. So you can have bar diagrams like this as well. ऐसा भी रह सकता है आपके bar diagrams representing number here. ठीक है, that is up to you whether you wish to do that or not. ठीक है, generally you take the variable on the x-axis, this variable of here on the x-axis, and you show different kinds of growth. So this is one bar, and let's suppose this represents another bar, and this is representing another bar, and this will basically show that your growth has been occurring. But again, the same thing can be represented. Between 2000 to 18 there is significant increase, between 19 to 20 there is even more increase, but there's not a lot of difference between 20 to 21. Okay, so this is another way through which you can represent data, bar graph. Okay, if I show you a image, it look like this. One second. Yeah, this is a simple bar diagram. Okay, let's suppose we are trying to find out the color student wanted to color their classrooms. Okay, different colors that they wanted to use. Now in this it can show, you can see that 5 people wanted to color their classrooms yellow, and 3 people wanted blue, 8 people wanted green, and 6 people wanted red. So you can understand the majority. See, there are several ways of interpreting this data. If you want to ask, the depending on the question that you are asking, how many people wanted green, it is 8. How many people wanted colors other than green agar पूछ रहे, so it will be, see, if I simply ask the question how many people wanted green, I can tell that it is 8. Another question I can ask is how many people did not want green, so it will include yellow plus blue plus red. So that is 5 people here, and okay, I'll put it here, 5 here, and 3 here, and 6 here. So that will represent 14 people did not want green. Okay, there are several ways of inferring the same data. Or how many people wanted red, how many people did not want red, what is the majority, the main color that you can get, the main color that the class wanted, things like that. Or which are the closest competitors, red and green being the closest competitors. Okay, or which is the least light color, which is blue. Okay, there are several ways of which you can infer from this data. I hope you are following along what I'm telling. Okay, this is how a bar diagram will help you. I'm just telling you the applications of bar diagram, kaisa kaisa apply kar sakte based on the questions that you are asking. Okay, so that is one way. Then we have something called a multiple bar diagram. So it will work in the same way, but here you have multiple variables. This is used when values of more than one variable is given corresponding to each year or place or firm. Matlab, for example, mm, multiple bar diagram ऐसा रहता. Okay, multiple bar diagram में now यहाँ पर you can see expenditure of every family. So let's suppose you are seeing 3 different families and you are trying to monitor the expenditure of each family. यहाँ पर there are more than 2 variables. So आपका family का variable आ गया and expenditure का variable आ गया. There is already 2 variables. Plus you are subdividing that expenditure in between what do you call amongst education, clothing, food, rent, and others, miscellaneous. So in this you can also get how much total expenditure that they are doing. See, family is spending 5,000 in total. 5,200 is B's, and C as well is 5,200. Again, in between them you can see which category they might be spending more amount. So as such, education, all of them are spending $1,500 or whatever they are using the currency here. Let's suppose they are using rupees. Okay, per month they are spending 1,500 rupees on their children's education or their own education, whatever it might be. And on clothing, you can see that which family spends the most बोले तो family A you can gauge from this. But I'll use a different color so that you can see that. Right. Family, see, family A is spending the most amongst the three families here, okay, on clothing. Then you can also gauge from this as how much, which family spends the least. Okay, you can get several variables out of these. If you have several variables under a single variable, now family A may several variables will be education, clothing, food, rent, and others. Okay, even though we are measuring the same thing amongst different families, in a single family itself you can allocate different. This is only one example, okay, where you are using budget. You can allot it to several others as well, wherein you are able to find different variables within a variable. Okay. So for another example would be, let's suppose average height in different countries. ठीक है, अगर average height in different countries कर रहे बोले तो let's suppose वो previous example तो समझ में आया ना. Let's suppose I'm doing another example where I'm doing average height in different countries. So let's suppose I'm taking height in case of centimeters, average height of men in different countries, and I'm taking from 150 centimeters to, let's suppose, increments of 10 centimeters, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210. Okay. So that's quite significant. Now let's suppose we are comparing different countries. Let's suppose we have India, we have America, we have Japan, we have Spain, whatever, some random countries. Okay. Now let's suppose average height in India is around, uh, generally average height in men in India is around 170, close to 170 centimeters. Okay. That's around 5'7". So in that as well, I can have difference in states. Matlab, let's suppose I have a multiple bar diagram in the sense that average is 170, right? So let me put it here, or we can put it this way as well. You will understand in a bit why I'm exceeding all the way up to 190. Let's suppose itna hai. Now average up to 150. Who are the people who have a shorter height? Let's suppose it is state number 1, whatever state it is. Okay. Then we have state number 2 and 3 who have an average height of around 165 centimeters. So I can put 2 and 3 here. And I have another state whose average height is around 175 centimeters. यहाँ पर फिर से मल्टी component bar बन गया. समझ में आ रहा how it is occurring? So let's suppose the fourth state has an average height of the same way it will work for other countries as well. I have USA which has around 50 states. Again, those 50 states individually, what will be the height of men in each of these states, and it will progress accordingly. Okay. Some states having a higher average, some states having a lower average. Same goes for Japan. Some will have a lower average, some will have a higher average, and you'll be able to compare individually on an average what is the height of people in India, USA, Japan, and Spain. Okay. I hope you are following along how multiple bar diagram works. This is a multiple bar diagram. Okay. This is called a multiple bar diagram. Now we have something called a component bar diagram as well. Sorry, this is a component bar diagram. Multiple bar diagram ऐसा रहता. I got confused in their names. This is a component bar diagram. I'll show how you are. Idea. Okay, giving you different components within a single bar. Now we have a multiple bar diagram ऐसा दिखता. एक second. Yeah, this is a multiple bar diagram. Sorry about that. This is a multiple bar diagram. That was a component bar diagram. ठीक है, उसमें different components within each value था. इसमें you have multiples. So for example, we are measuring the pounds of vegetables sold versus different vertical vegetables. Now your components being different your variables being based on day 1, day 2 and day 3. So day 1 may how much squash was sold in pounds, or in day 1 how much corn was sold. You can see the figures in different colors. So blue represents all the sales on day 1 in pounds, and green represents those in day 3, red represents those in day 2. You can see here, you can put all of these one side by side in a single variable. So let's suppose I'm only trying to find what is happening to tomatoes. Is their sale increasing or decreasing? So I can clearly see between the amongst these 3 days, from day 1 to day 3 the sales have increased. And let's suppose we are taking about carrots. The sales of carrots have decreased from day 1 to day 3. If we can follow the graph here, we have tomatoes on the extreme right, carrots after corn the fourth in number from left, right? In that you can see the graph wherein there is a decrease in trend, basically indicating that sales have gone down. Okay, you can also see which vegetable has the highest sales, which is clearly corn, right? And there is growth in that as well. So if in amongst each day as well there is growth in that. And you can see, let's suppose we are talking about squash. In from day 1 to day 2 there was a increase in sales, but day 2 and day 3 did not have any change in sales, basically meaning that there was no progress from day 2 to day 3. These are some of the affirmations that you get from a multiple bar diagram. Okay, I hope you are understanding. If you want me to slow down or repeat anything, please let me know. Okay, as I told you long ago, I keep going at this pace unless someone asks a doubt. समझ में आया यहाँ तक? Should I proceed or do you want me to repeat anything? Okay, take that as yes. If you're not able to use a microphone, please feel free to ask a doubt using your chat. You can type it in as well, put it privately or to everyone, whatever it is. Okay, so coming to the next one, 1 second, let me just close some of these just to avoid confusion. Right, now coming to the next one, we have a histogram. Histogram is very good when you are comparing ranges. Okay, data representation through bars, where each bar represents a group of numbers or it represents a particular range, especially used for years. Okay, let's suppose I'm trying to find out what is the growth in population in different phases of what do you call years. In the sense, let's suppose I'm taking increase in population. Let's suppose this represents uh, 0. Here you have 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. I can change the units as I want. Okay, so 30, 40 of some X country. Okay, let's suppose this represents some X country, 50 lakhs, and the present population is around 60 lakhs. Let's suppose so 55 lakhs or something. From 19 yeah, from 1960 to 1970, let's suppose the population of that country was around 20 lakhs. This is one bar. Okay, from 70 to, or I can put it in this way as well. You can have it this way. Let's suppose this under lower limit represents 1960 and this represents 1970. Okay, चिपका हुआ रहता graph, in the sense that imagine the growth in 1970 was around 10 lakhs, meaning current population is 30 lakhs. Okay, 70 to 80 another 10 lakhs grew, 40. Okay, 80 to 90, let's suppose only 5 lakhs grew. Okay, let's suppose vertical from 90 to 2000 there were increase in 5 lakhs. So 19 to 2000. Imagine the country went into war at around 2000 and there was a decrease in population. Now let's suppose they have lost a few members. Their population is now 35 lakhs. Okay, so 20 to 2010, let's suppose. Okay, from 2010 to 2020, let's suppose this population spiked again and it went beyond this thing, and this is how it is at 55 now. Okay, so from this you can clearly tell the population was 20 lakh here, the population was 30 here, 40 here, 45 here, 35 here, and 55 here. Okay. This represents a histogram. If you want to see a neater example, uh, there is another one I can show you. See, this is a histogram. Basically, here they are comparing class intervals with frequency, but you can see the same trend in the graph. Okay, they can be an increase, they can be a decrease. From in the range of 10 to 15, you have 20 units in frequency. In the range of 15 to 20, you have 25 units of frequency. Between 20 to 25, you have 30, and again the trend goes down between 25 to 30, it is 15, and so on and so forth. Okay, histogram is generally something which is closely knit, showing a range, comparing a range with a frequency. Okay, I hope समझ में आया how a histogram is represented. Okay, once you look at a problem, it will be very easy to
Yes,
understand how
sir.
it will work. Okay, comparing frequency with that graph. Okay, this is very good for ranges as such. Now, the next type is a pie chart. I think pie chart भी उस दिन बोले, but I'll just show you pie diagram or chart. ठीक है, this is especially good when you are comparing budgets. ठीक है, for example, second, I think I have a, yeah, okay, let's suppose we are taking methods for of traveling to school. Let's suppose different school, one college or one school. Let's suppose they are facing a problem where a lot of students are becoming absent to school or to college because of their mode of transport, for example. Okay, and they are trying to first find out how many students are traveling through different modes of transport. Okay, let's suppose these numbers represent percentages. So I can clearly tell that 1% will travel through train, 8% are traveling by walk, 9% are traveling by car, 4% use bus, 5 use the cycle, 3% use the taxi, and so on and so forth. From this, what can I infer? What is the least favorite mode of traveling? I can put that as train. So very few percentage of students use train. Or what is the most popular one? I can tell car. So they are, someone is dropping them by car, or they are using a cab or something like that, right? This way I can also measure the safety. So basically meaning that people who are walking, people who are using a cycle, they might be on a slightly more risky path, in the sense that it will be more harder for them to come to school, meaning they are more prone to, not coming to school, or maybe they are more prone to being absent, things like that. I'm just making up one example. Okay, this is one way. You can use the same for budget. For example, अपन जो multiple diagram देखे थे, ठीक है, allocating price for different things. Let's suppose we are taking for one family. Let's suppose, okay, I can use this now. Hmm, let's suppose ऐसा है, and they are trying to allocate, where should I put this thing? Suppose this is the center. Okay, and they are trying to allocate different expenditures. So for example, let's suppose this much amount is going for rent. Okay, and then we have this much amount is going for food, then we have this amount going for education, travel, and others. Okay, so this way you can what you call trying to find out budget of family A. Okay, through which you can use different percentages and try to find out what is the different expenditure limit. So let's suppose X% they are using on rent, Y% they are using on food, Z% they are using on education, P% they are using on travel, and Q% they are using on others, other miscellaneous things. Okay, through this you can understand how a pie diagram works. Okay, I hope you guys are following along. This is one application of pie diagram where you use different sectors. Okay, you first find out the percentage, you calculate the angle based on the percentage. एंगल कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं बोले तो बेसिकली लेट्स सपोज यू गॉट 50%, ठीक है, some family is spending 50% of their income on rent, ठीक है, how will you represent that on chart? अब टोटली आपके सर्कल में 360 डिग्रीज रहता ना, डिवाइडेड बाय 50, 100, ठीक है, you will get somewhere around 18%. So this will give you 18 आता, 1 second, let me check कितना हो रहा, टिंग टिंग 7 point, sorry, there might be 1 second, there might be some loophole. Basically 50% बोले तो आप 360 का हाफ उन लोगों को अलॉट करते, ठीक है. I think I have a formula here. I forgot the formula, direct formula, but you can memorize it once you start using it very intuitively. It will come. 360 will be the whole area. उसमें से different percentages, how much ever you are allocating, that one will be the part. So 50% अगर use कर रहे हैं तो 50% is 50 by 100, half, ठीक है, half of it will be allocated for rent, or example let's suppose 25% है, 1/4 हो जाता है, मीनिंग 90 डिग्रीज, ठीक है, 90 इतना आता रेंट के लिए, ठीक है. दैट इज हाउ यू विल बी एबल टू allocate these. I hope you are understanding. You do not have a lot of they will not ask you what you call to plot of these, but I'm just telling you generally so that you remember for later on, ठीक है. You generally use क्या बोलते हैं, क्लास फ्रीक्वेंसी divided by total number of observations into 360. This is the formula. Okay, class frequency being, let's suppose a class frequency of 2 है, out of total observations 18 है, into 360 degrees है, ठीक है. तो 1 by 9, 9 ये 40 आता, meaning you will allocate 40 degrees to that particular class, ठीक है. Let's suppose you had a class number 1, वो class number 1 का class frequency was 2. So how much will it occupy out of 360 degrees, or out of the total observations of 18 is 40%, ठीक है, or 40 degrees to put it another way, ठीक है, not 40%, 40 degrees. I hope you understood this. Do you want me to repeat it, or is it fine? Should I proceed? If you want me to, we can go into a little more detail about the calculations and all, but I don't think you need it. Okay, I'll take that as a yes then. Now, the next type of plot that you have is called a cumulative plot, cumulative frequency plot. इसके लिए I'll show you the example itself so that it is easier for you to understand. हाँ जी, cumulative frequency का मतलब है you are accumulating the frequency in the sense that हाँ जी, ये देखो, let's suppose you are given, for now forget about the CF, okay, just look at marks and frequency. So let's suppose out of 20 marks, how many people got what do you call 0 to 4 marks, 4 to 8 marks, 8 to 12 marks. This is a continuous pattern, okay, 12 to 16 and 16 to 20. So from that you are able to get a particular frequency chart, right? Now what you do is you cumulate the frequency in the sense that 4 का 4 डाल देते, 0 to 4 marks के लिमिट में you have 4 people, 4 to 8 marks के लिमिट में cumulative frequency will mean up to 8 marks, 4 plus 6 people have got up to 8 marks. माने how many people, let's suppose 8 is the passing mark, how many people have failed, but I can tell people have failed because they have failed to reach 8 marks, or let's suppose 9 marks is the passing grade and 10 people have failed because they did not get up to 9 or they got less than 8. Okay, I hope you guys are following along. That is how you accumulate the frequency. You add this number to this number, you add 4 to 6, then you add this 10 to 10. Okay, cumulative frequency का 10 on the second row to second row third column to third row third column 10, ठीक है. सॉरी, सेकेंड रो थर्ड कॉलम फ्रीक्वेंसी में जो 10 है, 8 to 12 के बाजू जो 10 है प्लस 10 of your cumulative frequency, okay, you get 20 out of that, meaning how many people got marks up to 12 बोला था, I counted 20, ठीक है, even though individually if I am trying to find out how many marks, uh, how many people got 8 to 12 marks, that would be 10. If I ask the question how many people got marks below 12 or up to 12, I can tell that is 20. If you keep on accumulating this, you'll be able to get that same frequency number, which is 32. If you add up the middle row as well, if you add up only frequency, 4 plus 6 10, 10 plus 10 20, 20 plus 8 28, and 8 plus 4 28 plus 4 32. That will be the total frequency. That does not change. Cumulative frequency में भी final वही आता. How many people got under 20 बोले तो the whole class 32 people got under 20 or up to 20. How many people specifically got between 16 to 20? That is 4 people. Okay, so what you do is you take the upper class limit as x-axis. ठीक है, यहाँ पर upper class limit between 0 to 4 is 4, between 4 to 8 is 8, between 8 to 12 is 12. ठीक है, the upper class limit, that will be upper class limits. You plot them here. Cumulative frequency you plot directly correlating to that. So 0 to 4 ki cumulative frequency 4 thi, 4 to 8 cumulative frequency is 10, so on all the way up to the cumulative frequency of 16 to 20 being 32. That will give you the plotting points. Now what you do is you plot a cumulative graph. This is how you get a cumulative graph. It will be a simple line graph, but the thing here is that you can assign, let's suppose, up to marks 4. Okay, how many people got up to marks 4 is 4 people. How many people got up to marks 8? That is 10 people. So you can take the difference between 4 and 10 and get that between what you call 4 to 8 marks, there are 6 people, or 6 people got in between 4 and 8 marks, or 5 and 8 marks for that matter. Okay, individually यहाँ पर between each of these marks you will get the number of people that are present in that particular class, but you can also get a cumulative frequency, meaning up to 12 marks there were, let's suppose, 12 people, and up to 16 marks, there were 16 people, up to 20 marks there were 32 people, वैसा. ठीक है, I hope you are understanding the logic here. I'm just plotting this ऊपर वाला नीचे. Okay, once you actually do it physically, it will be easier. I'll forward this image to you. It will become much more easier and more apparent once you actually perform it. ये समझ में आया? Do you want me to repeat it again?
Understood, sir.
Understood. Pakka, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we have the last class, which is a last diagram, which is a scatter plot. Scatter plot will look like this. Okay. Scatter plot is a little vague in the sense that they are at least two variables, but they are varying a lot in the sense that, let's suppose I am trying to measure what do you call the average, or I'm just trying to measure what is the trend of weight and height relationship in a particular population. Let's suppose I'm taking Indian population. I'm trying to find out what will be the average weight of a person in a certain height range. So I'm taking inches में है, देखो यहाँ पर height. They are taking from 55 inches all the way up to 75 inches. 72 inches, 72 to 75 के बीच में is your 6 feet. Okay, generally 72 आता, slightly ऊपर नीचे थोड़ा 2.54 है 1 inch in centimeters. So that versus average weight in that population. So as you can see, in 55 inches as well, you can have a lot of variance. 100 pounds is around 50 kilos. Okay, 45 to 50 kilos के बीच में रहता. You can have a lot of variance from 55 to 60 inches. You have a variance in weight, slightly increasing more than 100. ठीक है, 100 थोड़े कम थोड़े ज़्यादा. And as you keep generally going higher in height, you can see that the average trend is going up, in the sense that the weight of people generally tends to go up the taller they are. Okay, so a person who has a height of 75 inches, they will have a body weight close to 250. There are 3-4 people who are close to 250, versus someone who is at around 55 inches, they have what do you call a height of 100. So from this you can tell that the trend is generally going up like this, but it is a very scattered form. Okay, you can get a lot of variance in a single height class and in a single height class with respect to weight. Now let's suppose I am introducing another gender as well. You will get different colored dots. For example, I'm using blue dots for men, I'm using pink dots for women, or some other color, whatever color I assign them. I can get different scatters for both of these, and I can generally tell what is the height and weight relationship in a population amongst men and women. So I will get both of them together. Okay, I hope you are able to understand. You will be able to tell the trend as well. Generally this is used for what you call categories which have several variables. Okay, it can vary quite a lot. That is why these scatter plots are used. Okay, with this we have completed your diagrammatic representation of data. There are more. These are some of the common ones that you see. This should do at your level. Okay, I hope you understood this. Please feel free to ask me doubts now, or if you read later on and you are not able to understand something, you can feel free to message me directly or